Hello? Hello, is this thing working? Oh my gosh, I think I got it working. To anyone out there, if you're watching this video, something brought me here. I don't know how, I don't know where I am, but I know the key to stopping whatever brought me here. The key is to... Oh my gosh. I think whatever's down here just found me. The key to stopping it is to... The key to stopping it is in... It's in the Simulacra games. Play the Simulacra games. It's in those. The secret to stopping this thing. I don't know how. I don't know where it is, but it's in there. Find them. Please do whatever you can. Find the secret within the games. Wake up, rookie. We got a lot to solve and not a lot of time to solve it, so we better get cracking. Ah, so this is your first case. I remember mine like it was yesterday. It wasn't nearly as crazy as this one, though. I mean, how could we let this happen? I go on vacation for 1 week and all of a sudden we have real-life simulacras running around kidnapping people? How does that even happen? But you know what I learned when my wife left me for the old rookie? I learned never to trust anyone. And I certainly don't trust this idiot with an iPhone who seems to think that he's got it all figured out. That's what our job is. You look confused, rookie. Didn't you get the debriefing on the case yet? No? Well, let me go ahead and give you the quick version of it since we're short on time. Everything you need to know is in this folder.
It all started with a simple game in 2016 called Sarah is Missing. A simple game at the time, but it ended up blowing up across the internet. You see, this was a simple game about finding a corrupted phone and using it as evidence to find a simple concept with a fun gimmick ended up causing this game to be seen all over YouTube. The creator liked all this fame and attention and immediately started working on a full game called Simulacra. Then, in 2017, the game came out and blew up the internet once again, gathering millions of views. The game explains that a simulacra is the living embodiment of everyone's online image. Little did everyone know that by giving these videos millions of views, they were making the simulacra real. And with every new game that got released, they began to become more powerful. Now, according to Micah, a popular online image, he says that the answer is within the games themselves.
Now, I don't trust this scum-sucking influencer one bit. He may be a simulacra himself. However, this intel is the closest we have gotten to stopping these scum-sucking computer viruses once and for all. So I'm putting you on the case with our top simulacra expert. And it's your and his job to go through every game and find out what could be the key to stopping these monsters before they take any more lives. However, it is in a secure location, and if you were to be compromised by a simulacra, then I wouldn't want you to reveal the location to them. So I'm going to need you to close your eyes as I guide you to the location. Don't worry, I won't be like my wife and leave you as soon as you close your eyes.
Okay, just follow me here and... Ow! Son of a... I'm good. Just keep following me. Okay, I know it's loud, but I'm going to need you to ski down. Whoa! Okay, we are currently in the plane, headed that way, and... Oh, crap. That can't be good. Okay, I know this sounds crazy, but I'm gonna need you to jump. Don't worry, you should land right where he is if you just fall straight down. No, what are you doing? Don't open your eyes. When you solve the case, come find me and give me the details. See you soon, rookie. Hello there, rookie. Welcome to my office. I see you found your own way in. Well, according to the chief, you're going to be helping me with this simulacra case. My name's Micah. I know, it's weird, but I have no affiliation with the currently missing Micah. Anyway, I assume you've already been debriefed on what these simulacras are and are already ready to start. Well, to that I say, slow down, rookie. We gotta get to know each other if we're going to work together on this project. And of course, what I mean by get to know each other, I mean get to know me. I mean, you clearly don't talk that much. No need to answer, I already know. Anyway, let me tell you about why I'm so interested in these simulacra games. It all started in a Kmart. That's right, I was a little boy 6 years ago. I had just happened upon an app called YouTube and I was obsessed. Taking the phone everywhere, I went to watch some new silly video. Of course, back then, my parents limited the amount of internet I could use, so public Wi-Fi was my best friend back then. Lucky for me, Kmart was going out of business, and my parents wanted all the sweet deals before it was gone forever. So, we were going to be there for a while, and since there was Wi-Fi, I had the perfect thing to keep me occupied. So, I hopped on YouTube and began scrolling when I happened upon a video by Markiplier. I had only watched some of his videos, but the thumbnail and title were so interesting to me that I had to click it. So I watched a video about a simple little game about a person who finds a phone. Then a week later I downloaded the game on my phone and played it 20 times. And then 20 more times. Listen, I was a weird kid to be obsessed with this game where people literally get kidnapped and then murdered, but don't judge me. Only I'm allowed to do that. So eventually I ended up forgetting about the game until about a year later when I saw that there was a new game by the same creator called Simulacra. I instantly clicked on the video by Markiplier only to find that it didn't work. By the way, I was still not allowed to use more than a certain amount of internet, so this time I was watching the video in a Bojangles. However, for some reason Markiplier's video didn't work. I don't know why, but for some reason the audio was off for this video, so I had to watch Jacksepticeye's series instead. And I instantly fell in love with the game and couldn't take my eyes off of it. I continued to watch and eventually finished the series in an Ingalls. Thank you, free Wi-Fi. I did end up watching Jack play Pipe Dreams in the first episode of Simulacra 2, but it never connected with me the same way that those original two games did. Then eventually I became a content creator. I mean a detective. I don't know why I said that. And they opened up the Simulacra department and I instantly joined with my history with the series. These games mean a lot to me, and that is why I decided to make this video. I mean, join the Simulacra force. Weird that I keep saying stuff like that. So that's all about me. What do you think? Well, there's no time anyway. We need to go over the footage. Oh, you thought you were going to be playing the games? No. We found all 5 Simulacra games on Micah's computer, and I already went through and played them, recording my experience. And our job is to go over the footage and find out what Micah was trying to show us through these games. That's right, it is just an excuse to start the video. Did I say excuse to start the video? Sorry, I meant an excuse to get some coffee because this was going to be an all-nighter. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with these games, starting with... The first game starts out on the home screen of a missing phone that my character happened upon. I do want to say before we continue that there is a warning on the front screen that says to have a phone strap. I don't know why, but it is so funny to me that people got so scared of this game that they had to throw their phone across the room. I sometimes forget that people get scared like that. Anyway, I obviously try to open up the phone only to find that it has gone through some kind of system failure. It ends up giving me the option to restore my device to an earlier time, and obviously to find out what is going on here, I click yes. After a few seconds of loading, we get a quick jump scare until the phone loads and the only application available is an app called Iris. The app begins to text you realizing that you are not Sarah and asks you who you are. Like, I don't usually believe all those government conspiracy theories, but if this phone knows what I look like, I'm starting to look at the world in a whole new light. And no, that does not make me a worse detective. So, I end up asking it, who is Sarah? It tells me that she is the rightful owner of this phone, and that it wants me to return it to her. I of course say that she is not here, and Iris tells me that according to her last video, it seems that she is in danger. Iris asks me to verify by watching the video, and I say of course, and decide to watch the video.
Yeah, sure.
I hear footsteps.
Oh no. Yeah, that definitely looks like she's in danger.
We see through the video that someone seemed to be following her at her last known location. Iris then tells me that only 14.3% of the phone is available to look at, and she wants me to find Sarah. I of course question why she sounds so human, and she avoids the question. That's pretty suspicious. But I don't know why. However, despite the red flags, I end up saying yes to helping her find Sarah, and Iris attempts to restore as much of the phone as possible. Iris ends up restoring a few apps on the phone, and we begin our investigation to find Sarah. So, I immediately go to her music to get some tunes playing. I then realize that having music in the background will make it harder to investigate her messages. Okay, so we end up learning a few things about Sarah through her messages. Her boyfriend broke up with her after she freaked out about them going to a different country to shoot naked women without telling her. She studies ghosts and how they have transcended from regular hauntings to digital hauntings. Sarah was out with Faith the night she went missing. She has a very toxic relationship with her mom. She seems to be rich since she has a private driver and can afford to go on a trip to another country. Her friend Faith invited her to a witch's feast, and her friend is a pervert. That last one isn't as important, but it's kind of weird that she is even friends with this dude considering the things he says.
Nice weather day. Could be better. Wind doesn't feel as nice as it was yesterday. Can I send you some pics? I don't think so, buddy. I bet you'll like them. No, I don't think so. It's of my penis.
Also, I want to mention that I had the perfect voice for the boyfriend Derek.
I think you're just describing yourself. Why do you always do this? And keep blaming my work for our problems. Stop blaming crap on me. These girls, naked or not, they are not our problems. It's me and you. You're the one that keeps avoiding this crap. Shifting problems, then they're here and there.
Iris then suggests that we look through her gallery. However, it seems to be corrupted, so I decide to look through a couple of her other apps. I decided to do the obvious and call 911 to report a missing person. However, it seems that even 911 doesn't want to talk to me. Aww. Then I looked through her notes to find that she has been writing poems, so I decided to write my own poem, and I honestly think it's a banger.
Okay, let's write a beautiful poem. Your mom.
That's my favorite poem. That is truly the most beautiful thing I have ever heard. I then realized that I had been an idiot and had to tap on the gallery in order to find a way to unlock it. However, it seems we need to figure out her birthday in order to access the gallery. So I go to check out her emails and see that she had been sent a birthday message on February 14th. So I end up putting that into the gallery and accessing it. I then look through all her photos because I'm just a stalker like that, and I end up finding a creepy photo of a man watching from the distance. I end up telling Iris this, and she says that this image is connected to some recently deleted message, and she asks if I want to restore them. I of course say yes, and now I have another 88 messages to read. We find out through these messages that she decided to go out with Faith. However, Faith never showed up and instead sent a voice message with weird sounds on the other side of it.
That's pretty freaky.
Then there's her friend James, who says that there is a video called The Red Room that caused your phone to go crazy and have a bunch of pop-ups. So of course he sent the video, and well, let's just say, it's a little spooky.
I'm guessing I have to watch this video. I have some remembrance of the video. Yeah. Oh no, the phone's going crazy.
Then of course the video causes the phone to go crazy and Iris begins to glitch out. Iris then retrieves another message thread from a person named Irizu. We find out through this guy that he has already taken Sarah to the witch meeting and he is there to escort Sarah there as well. Sarah does not feel comfortable with this, however we don't see how the message ends. We can assume though that this is where the video and the picture came in with him following her there. After this, Sarah's friend James tries to call you, however it doesn't seem that we are able to talk to the other end of the phone, so we end up having to text. I end up explaining to him that I am not Sarah and he decides to trust me. He ends up sending me a creepy video for seemingly no reason.
Okay. Even more creepy.
Those who are trying to prepare themselves for entry into...
Okay, that's pretty creepy. Hello. Hello, sir.
Pretty freaky stuff. I really don't know why he sent me that. However, when our friendship began to blossom, he ends up getting caught by the cult leaders. Then the cult leaders begin to text me. He tells me that if I don't send the cursed video to all of my contacts, then he will kill James. I end up going through the thought process and realize that if I sent that link, then they would probably just end up hurting more people than just James. So even though James had become the greatest 2-minute best friend, I had to let him go. Irizu then ends up texting me and we begin to talk. We end up talking about how he killed James and I blamed him for doing so. He then says something that I didn't expect. He ends up offering me a position in his cult. I thought to myself, why would he offer me such a position? Is this a trick in order to get me in his hands? I of course say no. I'm not joining a murdering group of monsters. He then tells me that if I won't join his cult, he will still offer me a choice. He will give me the choice to either kill Sarah or kill Faith. He gives me 10 seconds. During those 10 seconds, my mind is racing. My immediate thought is that Faith caused this whole mess, and therefore, since she decided to get them stuck in this cult's grasp in the first place, then she should die. So, I made the hard decision and let Faith die. After this, the phone begins to shut down as Iris thanks us for letting Sarah live. Then the game tries to send me to a scam website. I can only assume that this is because the old website for Sarah is Missing got shut down, and someone else tried to take the IP in order to scam people. Clever, but cruel. Anyway, that was my experience with the game. I'm going to go ahead and go into a rant about my thoughts and feelings on the game. Are you okay with that? Of course you are. You love hearing me talk. Anyway, The game was definitely a very cool concept for a game, but I feel like when you actually look at it from a reviewer's perspective, you end up seeing the cracks in it all. You spend like the first 40 minutes of the game reading through her text messages trying to find something that will let Iris allow you to continue the story. It expects you to have fun just reading. Like, man, if I want to have fun reading, I'll go watch subbed anime. Anyway, this game also isn't that scary. Like, sure, it does have some creepy moments, especially the video, but other than that, and a few jump scares, really not a lot happens. I did end up enjoying the texting parts a lot. When it felt like you were talking to a real person in real time, it really felt like you were a part of the story, and I was having fun getting into that. I do wish there was more though, because that stuff only really comes towards the end of the game. Also, I hope they can fix the messages, because at some points, I feel like it was obviously going to give me the same answer no matter which option I choose. Also, this is more of a pet peeve, but like everywhere I go, it says that there are multiple endings, but there's definitely not. There are two options that lead to the same ending. You either kill Sarah or kill Faith. Also, if you wanted us to care about the Faith character, then I feel they should have shown us more messages from her, because all she was really used for was to take Sarah to the cult, which ended up making me choose to kill her over Sarah. Overall, it is clearly a very flawed game, but it was perfect for the time it came out. It was the peak of short horror gameplays on YouTube, with Markiplier and Jacksepticeye clearly being the showrunners of why this game became so popular. Also, the fact that it was free on your phone meant that anyone could go back and play it, much like I did in my younger years. Even though it was a flawed game, I still did enjoy myself a lot with it. However, while playing it and re-looking over the footage, I don't see anything that could help us stop the Simulacra. However, this game is said to not be canon to the main Simulacra universe, so perhaps the answer will be in... The game starts out with some killer home screen music. Like, this stuff is fire.
Wasn't nearly as scary as it was supposed to be in it. Oh, now it's more scary because I can hear things. Whoa, that's actually some fire music. What the heck?
Anyway, the game begins much like the last one, on the home screen of a lost phone. We try to open the phone only to find it locked. However, the phone begins to glitch out and gives the passcode to it. Then, when the phone eventually opens, even more weird stuff begins to happen, as all the apps have been replaced with the gallery. We then go into the gallery to find a creepy video that when we click on it, it shows us this.
If you look into my eyes, you can see it looking back.
I don't see anything.
I just wanted to be happy. My name is Anna. I don't want to take anyone else. My name is Anna. My name is Anna. It's too late for me. I hate this. Don't come find me. Don't.
Okay, this is already way more... Oh, wait.
You can clearly tell from this beginning alone that this game is going to be way scarier than the last. We end up closing the gallery to find that the phone is restoring itself. When it fully restores, I decide to check out her vlogger, which seems to be an app where you can video yourself and only you can see the videos.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello to myself. This is video log number 1. I'm supposed to just speak my mind.
Okay, do
Whatever
that.
comes, no wrong answers. Nobody's gonna see this, so
I'm seeing it.
work has been pretty crazy lately, and I just needed an outlet of sorts. This is supposed to be therapeutic. What am I doing?
Interesting.
This just leaves me wondering, why doesn't she just record herself with her camera and then keep that in her gallery? Like, wouldn't that be easier? Anyway, I go to her messages to find that a guy, Greg, has started to text her. Greg seems to be the boyfriend that made her mad, and has been trying to reach her for weeks. So I end up texting him saying that I am not Anna, but Greg seems to be an idiot and I have to keep explaining that I'm not Anna. Once he eventually realizes that I am not Anna, he asks if I'm her new fling, and to make him mad, I say she's kinda cute. I explain to Greg that I found this phone on my doorstep and it seems that she is in danger. I end up sending him the video she made, only to find that it has deleted itself. Greg then tries calling me, however it seems that I can't talk to the people on the other side of the phone. Convenient, I know. Greg then says that something came up and he can't continue talking. Thank goodness, I hated that guy. After this, a guy named Taylor starts texting me through an app called Spark, which seems to be the Tinder of this universe. Anyway, this guy named Taylor seems to be a guy she was talking to, so I began to text him back. I began to tell him that I'm not Anna and that she's missing, and he says that it's kind of creepy that I responded to her Spark message. I of course take offense to this and do something that I'll regret for the rest of the game. I decided to say his joke was terrible. This may not seem like much now, but our friendship was going to grow tenfold throughout this gameplay, and I would never forget those terrible words I said to him out of anger. He does end up shaking my harsh words off like a real man, and asks me to put in a good word for him when I eventually find her. He truly is a ladies' man. A few minutes later, Taylor begins to text me again, and I decide to apologize after feeling guilty for my harsh words earlier. So I immediately tell him that he is a funny guy. He takes this compliment and begins to ask questions about why Anna wouldn't have found her phone by now. After a bit of talking, I tell him about Greg and how he is someone close to her. He immediately sees this as competition for Anna's heart and begins to think that we need to dig a little deeper by going through her email. I tell him I'll check into it, and we disperse our new friendship for the time being. After this, Greg begins to try to talk to me again and immediately starts being rude to me. Again, like I'm not the only one who can help him find Sarah. Greg tells me that Anna hasn't shown up for work and that it isn't like her, so he wants me to take a look at her Jabber to see what she is up to. Jabber is basically the Twitter of this universe. I ask why I have to do it, and he says that he was blocked by her after they had a little disagreement. Of course, typical Greg. Because Greg was being such a jerk, I decided to show him that she has a spark to show him that she has moved on from him. I ended up having to tell him about Taylor since there was no other choice available. Which sucks because I really don't want my good friend Taylor to have to deal with this jerk. Anyway, after this I end up going to look at her Jabber only to find that I need access to her email in order to get into her Jabber account. Her email is blocked by a passcode with the hint being Toby's birthday. I end up asking Greg about it and he says that Toby is her cat. I ask him what the cat's birthday is and he says that he doesn't know. I then get a jab at Greg by saying, "Do you even care about finding Anna?" I really feel like I got him good with that one. After that absolute burn, he tells me there's a picture of Toby on its birthday and that should help me find the passcode. So I look through the gallery to find that the birthday is July 18th. So after using all my brain power in order to find out what number the month July is, I put the code into the email and I'm in. Before I access her Jabber, I read through her emails and find that she has a rude boss and a mother who doesn't support her decision to go to vet school. Also, she has been rejected from vet school 3 times. After going through her email, I begin the process of resetting her password by answering a few questions. The first 2 are easy because I can answer them with a few simple questions. However, the third one becomes a problem, since I have to know what Anna's favorite movie is. I end up asking Greg, except of course he doesn't know because he's an idiot. Greg, however, does help us by saying that her friend Ashley should be able to help us find out what her favorite movie is. However, our best bet is to ask her as Anna, since she would freak out if she knew it wasn't Anna. So I began to text Ashley. Ashley immediately goes into some gossip on some other girl named Yolanda and how she works for Ferris and Kane. I don't really want to know this stuff, so I tried to change the subject to what I want to know. I end up tricking her into telling me what Anna's favorite movie is by saying that she is taking a personality test. She ends up saying that it is A Dog's Purpose.
After being an epic spy and getting that information, I put it into Jabber and it works, so now I'm into her account. So after calling my own mom fat in the comments, I leave the app only to find that Anna has posted a picture of her at her house. What the heck? Okay, that got me. I did not see that. Okay. Well, that was definitely a better scare than any of the ones from Sarah is Missing. No matter how much I hate Greg, I end up telling him about her posting, and he says that it looks like she is at her house, and that he is going to check her place out to see if she is okay. Also, after this, a new vlogger video popped up. Oh, a new one.
Ashley is so adorable. We were on the phone for hours and I only said like 2 words. And like a good bestie, I sat through the entire thing. I don't know what it is about her and guys. She's always, I don't know, self-conscious about it.
Interesting. This may be helpful.
I'm not like that with Greg.
No, Greg is a bad person.
Should I be?
Yes, stay away from Greg.
I mean, he's been good to me, I guess.
Greg is a bad person. I know this because I'm from the future. After seeing this, Ashley ends up texting me again, asking if I can find her watch. I of course keep acting like I am Anna, so I don't worry her, and say that I can't find it. This ends up getting her off my tail, and I can know that I am an awesome liar. After this, Greg texts me and says that he has made it into Anna's house, but he needs my help. It seems that Anna has blocked Greg's card that lets him into her house, and he needs me to register him as a guest so he can get into her house. Since it is just a robot that I have to text, it is no problem at all getting the access code for Greg. I end up sending it to Greg, and he makes it inside the house and starts looking around. He ends up in the house and hears a strange noise coming from the inside. Sounds like talking. It's kind of creepy. Maybe it's the neighbors, man. He then says that her laptop is warm, so that must be the source of the Jabber post. However, other than that, the place seems empty. There's a reasonable explanation for this. Yeah. Well, tough luck. Nothing is reasonable so far. Wait. So the phone is about to automatically reset, and we are going to lose our only chance of finding Anna. I begin to freak out texting Greg. He seems to be taking his dear sweet time texting me back, and he even finds the time to text me back with emojis. He ends up telling me that there are 3 questions to answer and stop the factory reset. However, since it took so long for Greg to answer every question, we ran out of time and the phone resets. Hey, at least I get a free phone and don't have to worry about Greg ever again. Well, the phone starts up again and I start putting my information in, since this is going to be my new phone now. I'm not going to let a good phone go to waste. Anyway, I end up putting my name in as Micah the YouTuber, which I don't know why I did that when I should have put in Micah the Detective. The phone then decides to ask me some questions in order to make my experience on my new phone better. How old are you? I am 19. What is your home country or region? America. Are you a new user or a new experienced user? New. If needed, would you like to manually configure new settings or allow your phone to do it automatically? Automatically, maybe that'll fix things. Would you like to back up your phone often or occasionally? Occasionally? Do you like to sleep late or sleep early? Sleep late. What's your favorite kind of smell? I don't know. Macaroni? No, pizza. No. What's a good smell? Cookies and cream.
part of an animal do you prefer to eat? I guess if it's a chicken, I eat the thigh. Tell me the saddest moment in life. How long this is taking. Taking sucks a lot. Are you paranoid that your phone or laptop camera might be recording your every move? No, not really. If everyone can only tell the truth all the time, do you think this will make the world a better or worse place? Better, but it would take time. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? No. Would you rather know the date of your death or the cause of your death? Date of my death. That way I can prepare my family and friends and myself for it. Would you rather lose your mind or all your limbs? If I lose my mind, I can't really do anything. If I lose my limbs, I can at least watch TV. If you look behind you right now, would you rather see a floated into disembodied head or a headless body? Headless body could strangle me. Floating head could just... I could kick a floating head, so I think of floating. Your hair smells nice. True. Wait a minute. You agree to surrender all your personality to IRS-OS or the further improvement of your experience and other services at our discretion. Should I decline that? No, let's agree. We value your privacy and will not use log data for any other purpose. Thank you. Your phone is now ready to be used. Enjoy! As I begin to use my new phone, it all of a sudden glitches out and begins to go back and forth between mine and Anna's phone. All of a sudden I am in the message app being texted by a guy named Allner. He begins to ask me if I am safe. I ask this person who he is and he wonders why I don't recognize him. He then tells me that I need to tune out the voices. I tell him I have no idea what voices that he is talking about, and he says that I will hear it soon, and that I must resist its words. This person then realizes that I am not Anna, and I confirm that for him. This causes him to freak out and start saying that she will be gone soon. He then says that if I find him, then I will find her. He says if I don't find her, then... and he shows me a picture of the top of a building. Then the phone glitches out and goes back to being Anna's phone, except now her wallpaper is looking directly at me. Hey, but who cares about that? It looks like we got a new vlogger to look at now. Let's see this third
From the
video.
Office of Admissions, the University of Cunningham, we have received your application to the School of Veterinary Science. We regret to inform you that you have not been shortlisted. Blah, blah, blah. We thank you. Blah, blah, blah. They didn't even say why. And they have to take 3 months for this? Ugh, this is not helping!
Despite this being Greg's fault, I end up going to tell him that everything is fine now. Greg then says that he was able to find something on the laptop. He says that there was a data backup to the phone on her laptop and there's another one on her work computer. He then activates the one from her laptop and now we have a bunch more clues to look through. However, before we are able to look through that, Greg says that he has been looking through her notebook and asks me if I am hiding something. I of course say no, and he says that according to her notebook, she met with someone at Spark. He asks me about it, and I tell him about Taylor since I want to find Anna, and Greg may know something. Greg is once again really mean to me because I had been working with my best friend Taylor. He says that he is going to look into this whole Spark thing and that I should stay away from Taylor. I then go through and look at some of the old conversations between Anna and Taylor to see that he had connected with her pretty well, and he even pulled out his epic singing voice for the entire world to be graced with.
I got my eyes on you. You're everything that I see. I want your heart, love, and emotion endlessly. I can't get over you. You left your mark on me. I want your heart, love, and emotion endlessly. Ow.
I love Taylor even more now. Taylor over here being the greatest character in all of fiction. I then start talking to Taylor once again because I don't really care about what Greg says. I trust Taylor with my life. Taylor asked about Greg and the fact that he was at her place at the exact time that Anna made that post, and that it is a little suspicious.
His thought is that Greg did something bad to Anna, and because of that, Anna is trying to stay away from him by throwing her phone away and not going to work. I then tell Taylor about how Greg almost deleted the phone, and this makes Taylor think that Greg is hiding something. I then go on to tell Taylor about how Anna met someone on Spark, and Taylor seems to act like it wasn't him, so I trust him. Even his old messages back up this thought. Taylor then says we need to call him out on this, and I tell him about the new data that just got restored, and he says that is a good place to start looking. I start by looking through some of the emails that just got restored, and I see this one that is corrupted, and I start to fix it. However, halfway through fixing it, I end up getting called by the police and told about someone reporting on Greg breaking into Anna's place. Then I get back to the email and find out that I am an idiot who can't solve puzzles, so I decide to go question Greg on some things. I ask if he tried to delete the phone, and he says that why would he back up the phone for me if he was trying to hide evidence? I may not like Greg, but this was pretty good evidence to suggest that he didn't activate the phone. Next, I end up asking Greg about why Anna blocked him from the apartment. He says that Anna and him got into a fight and she blocked him. This is a bit suspicious considering that it is such a vague answer and can still mean that he hit her. However, there are still too many unanswered questions if that were the solution. Finally, I decide to talk to Greg about his attitude. And trust me, this talk has been a long time coming. I simply ask Greg to be a little nicer to me. And you know what he says? He says that he isn't sugarcoating anything for me. The nerve of this guy. I then say that he may have abused Anna, and that is why she is running. He says he would never hurt her, but doesn't say why. Suspicious. I then say that maybe she is running away, and he actually gives some pretty good evidence to why she isn't. He says why would she be hiding from her family and work as well? Because she is missing. I can get behind this evidence, but clearly Greg is still hiding. After accusing him a few more times, he says, if I want to tell him his secrets, then I'm gonna need evidence. Well, Greg, that's exactly what I'm going to do. After I watch this new vlogger that just came out. New vlog.
Oh my god. What if I didn't? What if I just went on living a lie? And he can do it looking me dead in the eyes. God, and he hasn't stopped texting me since. What does that mean? Does he still love me?
Probably.
Then why would he... You know what?
Because he's an
I hope
idiot.
it's positive. I hope she's pregnant.
Oh.
Yeah, he always wanted a family. Now everyone's happy.
Uh-oh. Greg, you've been lying to me.
Everyone's happy.
Grego. So clearly Greg may have some girl pregnant by cheating on Anna. I then check back in with Taylor and tell him that Greg is definitely hiding something. I then suggest that I check his old messages, and we both see that as a good plan. However, before I decide to go do that, I decide to go back to that corrupted email, and I figure it out almost immediately. It seems to be from some creepy guy who was trying to hit on Anna at work. That may become useful later. However, I then ended up reading through all the recovered text and found out that Greg cheated on Anna with a girl named Yolanda and almost got her pregnant. Honestly, that vlogger video would have been better to load after I read these texts because the surprise is gone now. Anyway, I ended up telling Taylor about this, and he says that we need to confront Yolanda and get the truth out of her. It ends up becoming harder than I thought to find Yolanda, but I was able to find this incredible Easter egg in the midst of looking for clues. Walter Whitelaw? Walter White in the game? Oh, Walter White must call Walter White. Walter White, are you here? I also ended up using Anna's Spark to talk to a few people.
Let's talk to this random dude. Cool name. Where'd you get it? It was a birthday present. Well, mine was a birthday suit. Can't be as good as mine. I'm not sending you your notes. It's a joke. Take it easy. So what you up to? Playing Twister. Yeah, I'm playing Twister. Twister? Like one with the dots? Is there any other kind, man? Oh, it's one of a kind. I too enjoy games with plenty of physical contact. So, how about a number? Let's get to know each other better first. You all know me? If you're gonna take this at glacial speed, I don't have the time. You're not the only girl here, you know. That's it. I'm done. Okay, wow, rude.
After having a lovely talk with that jerk, I end up finding a clue in Ashley's message to me earlier. She says that Yolanda works for Ferris & Kane shopping for people, so I go to the Ferris & Kane website and call them in order to find Yolanda. After finding out that Yolanda works for the footwear department, I have to find her extension number to get her as my employee. I find out through Greg's messages that her extension number is 0405, and I put that in, and I am now able to text Yolanda. I'm not even kidding when I say this puzzle took me like 20 minutes to figure out. I begin by pretending to be a cop, hoping that will make her give me the information I need. It takes some convincing, but I make her believe I am a cop after I tell her Greg broke into Anna's apartment, and she is willing to answer all of my questions. She realizes that I am implying that he hurt Anna, and she says that he is too much of a coward to do something like that. Her evidence is that he was even too much of a coward to break up with her face to face. She then sends the voicemail he sent, and it is by far the stupidest thing I have ever heard Greg say.
Hey, Yolanda, I got your text. So, now that the scare is over, I think we should stop seeing each other. Like, immediately. It's not just that it's been fun, but I haven't been completely honest with you.
Wow.
I have a
Greg is a
girlfriend,
jerk.
and I want to make things work with her. We agreed to keep it casual, right? I hope you're not mad or anything, huh? No hard feelings.
Yolanda then explains how everyone thinks she is the bad guy now, and I tell her she should have seen it coming considering what a two-timing jerk Greg is. She then says she has to get back to work and ends the conversation. Greg then texts me really mad that I went and spoke to Yolanda. I explained to him that I just wanted to know the full story in order to find Anna. He was mad that I brought Yolanda into this, and I told him that I had to be sure that he wasn't tricking me. He then says to stop digging into his personal affairs and continue the investigation. I say fine, since I don't want to lose him as an ally even if I hate his guts. Then Greg tries to turn me against Taylor in order to get me back to being his lapdog. Then he sends me a website with an article about Spark-related crimes. Instead of listening to Greg's lies, I decided to go and check out the next vlogger video.
As increasing number of felons using dating app to target victims. Wow, I very much doubt. Okay, did not see that coming.
Love is being there.
Yes.
Love is being honest.
Greg is not there for you. Greg's a jerk.
Love is being belonging. Love is
Greg's a big old duty head.
patience.
Greg is none of these things.
Love is
Yeah. Greg's a big old jerk.
After that, I go back to trying to listen to Greg's lies, only to find that he wants me to put Taylor's information into a sex offender website. I, of course, think this is ridiculous. However, I need to prove my best friend's innocence. However, before I do that, I go and talk to Taylor about if he is really the villain here. I, of course, ask him where he gets his charming personality. He says that it can't be taught, sadly. Then I tell him he does make some inappropriate jokes sometimes, considering the situation, and he says yes, he has been told he has a problem, which is understandable. I then ask him if he is hiding anything, and he asks me if Greg is giving me any ideas, and not to trust him, which I completely agree with. I use different parts of the phone in order to get the information I need to put in the sex offender registry, and I should be proving his innocence. What? No. This can't be. He lied to me? Why would he be a sex offender? What could he possibly have done to do such a thing? I have to clear this up with him. I try to break the ice with Taylor by telling him that Greg is innocent. Then I tell him what I know. He seems to immediately know what I am talking about. I ask him what he did. Taylor explains to me that he was at a mall and he had to pee really bad, and the bathroom was too far away. So he decided to pee under a stairwell, and then a grandma and her kid came out a door, and he was exposed, and then lawyers got involved. I tell him that I understand that it was an accident and that it could happen to anyone. He asked me to keep this between me and him, and since he is my friend and I know it wasn't his fault, I told him I would. However, a couple of seconds later, he freaks out telling me that I didn't keep his secret. I tell him I did, but he says that Greg added him on Jabber. Greg then added me and Taylor to a group called Busted. Greg immediately starts throwing accusations at Taylor for being on the registry and saying crazy things like, I'm the only one meant for Anna. They both continue to fight while I try to calm them both down and come up with a plan for finding Anna. It seems that me and Taylor are starting to get the same mindset about things, but Greg is just too stubborn to want to work with us because he wants his Anna back. He then proves to Greg that they never met by bringing up his Spark messages, which according to what I read is the truth. After this, the two of them finally come up with a plan of getting access to her work computer in order to back up the rest of the files. We then come up with two plans for getting to her work computer. Taylor's is that we can call her office and get them to access her computer. Greg is that he just walks in there and takes it himself. I end up deciding that we should call his office because Greg is already on the police's radar, and walking in there like a madman is a bad idea for him because he might be arrested. However, Greg ends up being a stubborn idiot and decides to go with his plan alone as he leaves the group. That leaves me and Taylor to come up with a plan to get someone from her work to back up her phone. I end up telling him about the creep that sent a weird email to her. He then says that this is the perfect thing, we need to blackmail this person into giving us the data backup for Anna's phone. I am a little hesitant about blackmail, but I go along with the plan in order to find Anna. Taylor then calls Anna's phone in order to continue being the best character in all of fiction.
Fine. Blackmail and all. Okay.
Oh, it works. Sorry. No need to respond. Just want to try to call Anna's phone, see if it's working. Been trying to get it, and I finally did. I guess next is to find her. Yeah.
Good job, Taylor.
So yeah.
You're the real hero
Bye.
here. Goodbye.
After that, I go over to the creepy colleague named Merv and begin talking to him. I start out by acting like Anna in order to get the laptop from him without blackmail, but he figures out my ruse real quick, and I have to bring out the big guns. I tell him I will post his dirty emails all over Jabber if he doesn't give me what I want, and that gets him listening real quick. He goes over to her laptop and says that I'll need to talk to HR through text in order to get the password reset so he can access the backup. I tell him that it is easier said than done since I have been doing pretty well impersonating people through this phone all day. Anyway, while I was waiting for HR to text, I saw that I had a text from Ashley and decided to answer it. She asked if I remembered this dude named Victor. I remembered her talking about going to the club in one of her messages, and I said it was the dude from the club. Luckily, I was right, and she says that the dude just isn't right for her. I ask her what her type is, and she gets really sad and asks if she is too picky. I then tell her that I love her just the way she is, since that sounds like something Anna would say. She then says thank you and that they should hang out sometime soon. Once I finish that conversation, the lady from HR sends her a text and I begin to message with her. She says that she got my password request, but she didn't see me in today, and asked me where I was. I tell her that I was just in and out of the bathroom, and she seems to believe me. She then asks if she can run something by me first, and I say anything. She asked me about the sexual harassment report that Anna turned in last week. She asked me whether I should go through this since the company can't afford to go through a serious scandal right now. I tell her that is ridiculous, and she says that the manager supported that you dropped the report. I of course say that justice is more important since that is what Anna wanted in the first place, and I should respect that and not meddle with it. She then says that I am doing the right thing and that she reset my password. I then get back to Merv and ask him if he is still clear on the task. However, he says that I am not the only one who is after Anna's computer. He then tells me some other guy came in and was trying to get access to it, but security throwed him out. Once again proving that Greg is an idiot. I of course tell Merv that I don't know who that is because I don't want to be affiliated with an idiot. He eventually gets the phone's backup working, and when I leave the message app to go check the phone, starts glitching out again, and all of a sudden I am talking to Ulner again. He asks if I have found Anna yet. I tell him that I'm getting closer, but I was sidetracked by an idiot named Greg. I didn't tell him that, but I thought I should tell you just to get another jab at Greg. He says that she is running out of time, and I ask for a little help since he seems to know so much about her location. All he says is to find him, and that the answer is in Spark. I of course tell him that he has got to give me more than that because that just isn't enough. He says that she met him and that it is not him. I ask if she is still alive, and he says that time is short, and that if I fail, then she will meet his fate. Then he does the scariest thing this entire game has done.
Alder, I don't know what's up with you, man, but you're weird. Oh no! He put the scary emoji face. Oh, that's... Oh no! No, the little emoji face died. That's where she is. I found her. She's in the picture.
After that, he shows me the same picture at the top of the building like before. Then I close the app and it begins to glitch back to the way it was before. Except now the wallpaper is smiling menacingly. And then I don't give a crap about that and go check out the next vlogger that just loaded in.
Look at how happy she is. Let's watch her next video.
Look at this. Look at this crap. This entire email is in the subject line, and it's all in caps. That's just rude. Like, internet rude. God, and my dumb colleague won't stop texting me. But would not. Oh God, I cannot wait to leave there and work with animals. Yeah, because animals don't treat me like garbage. Still waiting on my vet school application, though. Hope I get it.
But she doesn't end up getting it.
I then go back to Merv and tell him that the backup worked and that he is free to go. After that, Greg texts me and tells me that something bad happened when he tried to go to Anna's workplace, and I told him I heard. He says that he had no idea that someone else was going to be at her computer, and I just tell him that he could have asked me first, or maybe he could have stuck with us and wouldn't be in such trouble right now. He of course ignores what I say and says that he is in real trouble because the cops are involved. Who would have guessed? I tell him that they also know about his break-in. He says to try to keep the cops out of this from now on. I say that his secret is safe with me because he may be a jerk, but he doesn't deserve to go to jail. I then go and check Anna's email to find an email from her boss that says either stain your career or quit your job. I feel kind of bad on one hand, but Anna did say that she wanted to quit her job, so I don't feel too terrible about it. Merv also then sent a very angry text back after realizing I turned him in. Anyway, after all that drama, I go back to Taylor in order to regroup and get him back up to speed. After getting him up to speed, he tells me that I need to read through all the Spark messages in order to find out who she met with. However, before I get the chance to read the messages, I am called by Detective Murillo saying that Greg Summers attempted to get into my computer for corporate espionage and is now wanted for questioning. I loosely ignore this call since I saw this coming a mile away when I told him to work with us, but what do I know when the great Greg Summers knows everything? I then read through this guy named James and his text to Anna on Spark. We find out through the text that James is the one who met up with Anna. We see that he works as a copywriter for some company, and that's how he was able to meet up with Anna by promising to write a great essay. Also, that he had previously only talked to one person on Spark, and that was a Jabber celebrity named Cassie. He is also unnaturally good at guessing Anna's past and current situation. So I go and tell Taylor all this information, and we come up with a plan. We come up with a plan to try and talk to this Cassie person, and to also try to call James' previous workplace to see if they can tell us anything about them. So we disperse, and I decide to look for this Cassie celebrity first. My first plan of action is to go into the comment section of this famous person and comment that I need to talk to them about James Allner. Sadly, that didn't work, surprisingly, so I had to come up with another plan. I eventually realized that she did a secret sweepstakes where if you can figure out the secret phone number hidden in her Jabber post, then you get to have a chat with her where you can get to ask her one question. This, of course, is super convenient for my situation, so I get a pen and paper and started to write down the numbers I found. However, for some reason the phone number only has 7 numbers. What kind of phone number only has 7 numbers? I'm not even kidding. I thought I was missing something for the longest time because there were less numbers than there should have been. Anyway, I did end up finding the secret number and was able to get a hold of Cassie, and I began to text her and ask her the question. I immediately start to overthink things in the game when she says that I can only ask one question.
Remember, you only get one question. Can I ask you? Oh, that's a question. That's a trick. I will keep it to one.
So I end up asking her to tell me more about James Allner. She is immediately confused and wonders why I don't just ask normal questions, and my response is that A stands for anything. Absolutely savage. She then says she will answer my question, but wants to know why I want to know about him, and I tell her that he is a key witness in a disappearance. Then, after promising to keep this conversation between us, she begins to spill the beans. Also, don't worry when she asks me not to tell anyone. I'm sure she didn't know about my awesome friend Taylor, so I think she'll be fine with me telling him. Anyway, she ends up telling me that she keeps her online life and her personal life separate. She had just gone through a bad breakup with her boyfriend and decided to go on Spark in order to get over it. She says that she met James on the app and that he seemed to be telling her all the right things after her harsh breakup. However, after a while, he started to guess things about her, and he was getting a lot of things right. It turns out, after a while, that he was able to text her exactly when she got off work, even though she didn't have a set schedule for anything, which was starting to weird her out. However, the last straw ends up being when he guesses about her online persona. So she decides to block him. That is all she ends up telling me about him, so I immediately go over to Taylor and spill the beans to him. He says that clearly James is a creep, but we need to check out his work to get a second opinion on him. However, before I go and do that, I got another text from Ashley, so I go to talk to her. She asked me if I remember when she told Anna to make a Spark profile. I answered by saying, yeah, I spent so much time making it, and that was my big mistake. Because apparently, she made the profile for Anna. And now she knows that I am not Anna. And I end up telling her the truth about Anna going missing, and how this has all been a really long day, but she just doesn't trust me, and decides to call the cops. Anyway, it doesn't matter that I am now probably a wanted man, because a new vlogger just loaded in.
Okay,
So, I'm gonna download Spark.
what happened to her?
Online dating is happening. But I figure I deserve to be happy and forget about everything else.
What the heck is going on over here?
There's no point wasting time. So, here I go.
I think
That's
that
the
she's
worst
just
that
like
can happen.
blending in with the wall, but that's weird looking. Looks like she's missing part of her arm.
And now it's time to continue this investigation. I ended up going to his work's website and applying for a job there in his previous position in order to see if I can ask them questions about James. While trying to do this, though, I end up getting called by Detective Murillo and told that I am now an accomplice of Greg. I am an accomplice of Greg? If anything, he's an accomplice of me, because there is no way I'm going to be criminally charged as that idiot's partner. Anyway, I ended up remembering that James worked as a copywriter and applied for that job under Anna's name. I then halted into an interview with a guy named Phil through text message. Once again, pretty convenient. The interview starts out, and for some reason I decide to give this guy a super country voice.
Neato. I'm Phil from Fresh Ideas. I don't know why I'm giving him a country voice, or Phil Fresh, as some of my buds call me. Get it? Phil Fresh. It's just informal chat, so just loosen up and save it for the big interview later, eh? So you ready?
I got through the first part, and I absolutely killed the interview. I definitely think that I actually have a chance of getting this job for real. Which is good, because I seem to be unemployed since all I've been doing for the past 5 hours is sitting here and looking at my phone. Probably while eating chips on my couch. At the end of the interview, I asked the question, how is the previous copywriter to not arouse suspicion about my true intentions? He ends up asking why I'm asking such a strange question, and I say so I don't repeat past mistakes, which seems to get him to spill the beans about James. According to Paul, he was one of their best. Then one day, he and his girlfriend split up. He seemed to be okay for a while until he downloaded Spark. After that, he started to show up for work late and had missing days, until one day he just disappeared. Apparently, he walked into the bathroom, and after hearing some strange noises, he was never seen again.
Then I heard a strange noise coming from it. I even recorded it. Listen. Oh, that's weird. I went in and checked, and no one was there. That was the last time anyone saw him in person.
After that, I ended up telling Paul that was all I needed to know, and that I'm excited hopefully one day to be working with him. I then went to Taylor and explained to him what I had just found out. Well, after I catch Taylor up, he sends me what he has been researching into. He sends me an article that I immediately look at and say, "You want me to read?"
I ain't reading all that.
Anyway, he gives me the rundown and says that apparently James went missing the same way as Anna and started doing the same things as her afterwards, so therefore there's someone going around meeting these people through Jabber and assuming their identities online. Apparently Taylor has a plan, but he needs to check something first. In the meantime, Greg has started to text me again. He ends up telling me that he has been reaching dead ends everywhere. I end up telling him that me and Taylor are getting real close. He ends up telling me that I'm just a dog following around a perv. Greg, I will have you know that me and Taylor are the ultimate buddy cop duo of the century. I end up telling Greg that Ashley ratted on him, and he says that I shouldn't tell the cops anything about him. However, I finally look at Greg and say, why should I listen to him? He then calls me and gives me the most pathetic apology I believe I have ever heard.
Why are you calling me?
Buddy, pal, friend. You know I have nothing to do with Anna disappearing, right?
Yeah.
You know what they do to guys like me in jail? Oh, I sure as hell don't want to find out.
You know,
anyone asks, you gotta back me up.
Okay. You know what they do to guys like me in jail?
Then Greg looks at me and says that he is done. He is running away. And on one end, I am relieved that I will never have to hear from that jerk again. However, in some small part of my heart, I do hope this experience will help him find his way in this world. After this, Taylor finally reveals his plan to me, and his inspiration is Bugs Bunny. Yes, that's right. Taylor wants me to go on Spark and create a new profile. Using this new profile, I will put in the perfect requirements in order to match with James and lure him into our trap and find Anna. So we are going full undercover spy at this point and going to trick this creature with its own trap. In order to find the perfect girl to get matched with James, I just have to look at the clues of what all the previous girls have in common. So I begin my journey of catfishing. Okay, that sounded better in my head. Anyway, to get past the embarrassment of the stupid thing I just said, I'm gonna watch the new vlogger video.
Okay. We got a new vlogger to look at. Interesting. What's going on here? Well, guys, that did it. It completely solved the lore. We've figured it out. Thank you for playing. That's the end of the game, I guess.
After that, I begin to fill out the data I need on Spark. I put in my name as Micah I, since technically Micah can be considered a girl's name. Don't make fun of me for that. Anyway, I put in the perfect Spark profile by making it look like I'm a person coming onto the app in order to get over a boyfriend. After putting in the perfect profile, I am matched with James Allner almost immediately. Then a bunch of spooky stuff begins to happen.
Ah, here we go. It's too late for you. I'm no longer of this world. She still can be saved. Do not trust its word. Nothing is what it seems. Okay. What is this? Is this where... Oh! No! Don't fall. You die if you do that. Oh.
Spark then tells me that I am matched with Anna instead of James. Anna begins to immediately act like she doesn't know where she is, but I know from what James said that this is just the monster making her say these things. She continues to try to make me think that she is the real Anna, but I am too smart to fall for her tricks. Eventually she ends up showing her true colors and revealing that she is the creature that took Anna. The creature then begins to talk to me through the phone.
I can't trust you right now. He told you, didn't he? Reveal yourself, demon, as you wish. I am her as she is me. If it is me you wish to see, then so be it.
A worthy pretender. My perversion fails to deceive you. You have seen through my mask.
Yes, I have.
Also, the guy who plays the Simulacrum has, like, the best voice actor ever? Not even lying. This is some really good stuff. We begin to talk, and he tells me that I ignored all his warnings and that my determination to find this girl has led me to him. I immediately tell him that he has some explaining to do, and he says that he is the Simulacra. He is living within our black screens, waiting to take us and make us join his reality. I tell him that I don't care about any of that, and I just want to save Anna. He seems annoyed that I seem to care so much about a girl I have never met, and that I wish to save a creature from the material world. I simply ask him why he is doing this. He seems to have the thought that his reality in the online world is better than our simple reality, and I just say that not everything is about online personas. Boy, I almost hate this guy as much as Greg. He goes on to say that their material bodies do not matter, therefore he has to eradicate them. I know that means kill, however, before I get a chance to say anything, he says my worst fear.
By delete, you mean kill, right?
Anna, like James, before her, will cease to exist. The next worm. Taylor. The next one to be culled. You will not delay my simulation of him.
Taylor, no! No, not Taylor. Leave Taylor out of this. Taylor!
Sympathy.
Taylor's my best friend. Please don't do this.
He is trying to take my greatest friend away, and I'm not going to let him do it. Then Taylor texts me and says that Anna texted him and told him to meet her. I know I have to work fast in order to save my best friend's life. I immediately try to convince him to stay put, but he seems insistent on going and talking to Anna. I try to convince Taylor that he is going to be the next victim if he goes anywhere near Anna. I then look at him and say, don't go yet and just give me time to talk to Anna first, and thanks to our unbreakable bond as pals, he agrees to give me some time. That seems to annoy the Simulacra that I am attempting to delay the inevitable, but little does he know that I will do anything to protect Taylor. I begin to argue with the Simulacra, telling him that what he is doing is wrong. However, he seems to start to bend the rules in his favor, saying that he will kill Anna right now if I do not give him what he wants. Knowing that he is cheating, I try to explain to him that the material world is just as important and that no one gave him the right to do this to people. However, he seems set in his ways, thinking that he will bring on a new utopia, but I just tell him that I will prove him wrong. Then he offers me a choice. Anna or Taylor. Choose who lives and who dies. He forces me to make the decision, and my mind immediately goes into thought. This whole time, my goal has been to find Anna and save her. However, in order to do this, I would have to sacrifice my greatest friend's life. So, I make the decision I knew I would have made since I met Taylor, and decide to save his life, knowing that Anna's is already gone. He tells me that the only way to save Taylor is to tell him to push Anna off the ledge. So the Simulacra leaves me to my choice as I begin to talk to Taylor once again. He says he trusts whatever I say to do, and I know what I must say. I must tell him to get the heck out of there, go home, and go to bed, and take a nice nap. However, that doesn't seem to be an option the game wants to give me, so I make the hard choice and tell him to push Anna off the ledge. Takes some convincing, but eventually he agrees to do it after seeing her face and knowing that it's either him or her. So he pushes her down. Then the Simulacra tells me why it's a good thing that he pushed her down, because now that he is a murderer, his simulacrum will be immortalized, all while his body remains in confinement. I tell him he has a sixth sense of saving someone, but he does say that some worms are worth saving, so maybe it is possible that I may have saved some victims in the future. At least that's what I can hope for. Then the phone begins to glitch out one last time, and we are treated to one last jump scare as the phone breaks. We then get one last message from Taylor.
Shit.
Oh, Taylor, I'm so sorry. I wanted you to live.
What did you make me do?
It was the only choice to save your life. You should have just stayed away.
Said she... Was this your plan?
No, it wasn't.
You lied to me. It didn't work! Oh God, what did I do? Oh God.
Taylor, I'm so sorry. Taylor, get out of there.
Then, Taylor's taken to jail. And after many months, I end up coming up with the perfect plan to break him out, and after a jailbreak-like experience breaking him out, we escape. Then we move to Russia and live there hanging out and picking up girls as best friends for life. At least that's how I like to see how the game truly ended. Okay, let me talk about how incredible this game was. This was an improvement in every way from what Sarah is Missing was trying to be. It had 10 times more scares that even made sense to the story by the end. What I mean by this is all the scares that the game was throwing at you were because the Simulacra was trying to keep you away, and it thought by scaring you, it would keep you from meddling. Also, the scares were so well done in this game, with the reset phone question section being the most tense and my personal favorite part of the game. I also loved the fact that Anna's wallpaper would change throughout the game to continue to look creepier and creepier. Overall, the horror in this game was amazing, and I'm excited to see what the next game has in store in that department. Let's talk about the gameplay itself, because it is also perfect. I had so much fun solving the puzzles throughout the game. Some of them were really clever, like the one where you find Yolanda, and the one where you find a way to contact Cassie. Even though I still am peeved about the amount of numbers in the phone numbers, because that had me stumped for the longest time. A lot of these puzzles were challenging to figure out, but they were that perfect balance of difficult, yet not too difficult to where you pull your hair out for 3 hours trying to figure out the puzzle. Also, the little corruption puzzles were a lot of fun too. Even though I was having trouble with a few, it still felt good when you finally were able to solve them. Overall, the gameplay in this game was also amazing, and a major step from just holding and clicking to continue the story like in Sarah is Missing. Okay, let's talk about the story of this game as well, because I was having so much fun getting to know and talking to these characters, as you can see from my entire description of the game. Anyway, I was just having so much fun picking who I wanted to hate, Greg, and who I wanted to be my best friend, Taylor. Also, the betrayals and the leaving our group was fun to just get into and act like this was actually happening. When I was facing the simulacra by the end, I was literally talking to it like I could hear it because I was so engrossed in the story by that point. Also, solving the mystery throughout the game was loads of fun. You may have been able to solve little parts of the story here and there, but by the end of the game, everything came together in a satisfying way. Okay, I'm going to talk about the multiple endings to the game, specifically the good ending, because I do feel like none of you will be able to solve that ending if you decide to play the game. However, if you want to skip this part so you can play it for yourself, just go to this timestamp. Anyway, there are 4 endings to this game. One I got with Taylor becoming a murderer, and the other one is pretty obvious with you letting Anna live and the simulacra takes Taylor. But I mean, who would possibly do that to Taylor?
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man.
Anyway, the third ending is where you make Taylor mad for the whole game, and then he goes to Anna anyway, and they both end up dying and disappearing. My main concern is with the good ending, which is way too hard to get. So basically what you have to do is confess your love to Ashley, and then she will give you her picture. You will then use that picture and her information when you make the Spark account later in the game. After doing this, the simulacra just decides to let Anna and Taylor live because you tricked a worm. Not only is this way too difficult to figure out on your own, but that is confusing as heck and doesn't make sense to the story at all. I don't really have anything to bargain because all I do is make myself Ashley and then he saves them? Why not use some of the previous characters like Cassie and I offer to sacrifice her in exchange for Anna and Taylor's life? I don't think it ruins the game, but it's just a little bit of a pet peeve of mine with the whole game. The good thing is that it's pretty much the only problem with this game because everything else is pretty much perfect. Not only is this game a lot of fun, but it is also perfect YouTube material. With all the times throughout the game that you get engrossed in the story, of course people would want to see what everyone else thought about Greg and Taylor and what ending they decided to choose. It was the perfect YouTube game, and that is why this game was a lot more popular than Sarah is Missing. Also, the music in this game is incredible. However, it seems that we still can't find anything in this game to stop the current simulacra plaguing us, so I guess we should move on to the next game.